Welcome back, everybody. We are on day 24 of our First 40, where we are fasting for the first 40 days of 2019 from January 1st to February 9, where we're praying, fasting in the Word, seeking God's face, and I want to welcome you to this daily devotional. Now, I just want to share a brief word with you. It's from one of my favorite passages in the book of Psalms. I'm sure you're all familiar with it, Psalms chapter 23. And I just want to read something to you real quick. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, this passage is one of my favorite passages in the Word of God, because here it's like David really describes in details like your experience and my experience in our walk with God. He starts off by saying, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lay down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Like, everything is good. Everything is perfect. And sometimes you and I feel that way. We feel like, man, I can hear God's voice. He's with me. He's answering my prayers. Like, I'm spending hours in the Word. I feel like I can walk on water. Like, life is just good. But like, David doesn't stay there. He says, yeah, he leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And then David transitions. He's like, but the reality is that sometimes I will find myself walking through the valleys of the shadow of death. Like, sometimes there aren't green pastures around. Sometimes, in fact, death is on the horizon and it's lurking over me. And David says, what then? And this is what he says. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And I can imagine in your own personal walk, like, you've been there. Like, yeah, you've had your mountaintop experiences, but then sometimes you're like in the valley for real. You can't talk to God. It's like you're talking to a brick wall. Your prayers aren't going any higher than the ceiling. You can't hear from God. He's not responding to your request. And you're like, man, trouble is on the horizon, maybe in your marriage, maybe in your family, maybe in your finances. And it just feels like, man, there's no hope. But David reminds us that even though we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, here's a key point. It's not the valley of death. It's the valley of the shadow of death. It's not actually death. It's just the figment of death around us that causes us to fear and to want to throw in our faith. But David says, when I'm in the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And I just want to encourage you today that no matter where you are in your walk with God, on a mountaintop or in the valley, know that God is with you every step of the way. Some of you all may be struggling right now because things are not going well in your family. Others of you all may be struggling because, man, you started a new year and already it's starting off the wrong foot, and it just, whether you may have lost a loved one already, or you're just experiencing some significant problems, and you're just not sure if this year is going to be any better than last year. But I just want to let you know, valleys don't last forever. And that when you're in the valley, God is with you. So do not fear. Listen, I hope you're encouraged, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Continue strong on your fast. Day 24, we're almost there. I'm believing God is doing great and mighty things in your life. And I just want you to have a wonderful, wonderful week. So be blessed. And as always, by God's grace, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.